said a good point in the on-court interview. You said guy shot an air ball and then came up and knocked down that huge three. I mean, what does that say to you about a young player's mindset like that he can rally from that air ball and then knock down kind of that dagger three?
Well, I think after the air ball, you could tell he was upset, and I've always said this about him. He's not really afraid of the moment or leaning into those things, and whatever he did to course correct there, or give himself an opportunity to make that one, he did. But he's always kind of leaned into stuff. Like I said, a lot of young players, they think sometimes mistakes are something that are not part of the growth and development piece, and the more guys lean into them, not that he wants to intentionally make mistakes, I don't mean that, but it doesn't distract him, it doesn't discourage him, it doesn't get him down. He's really got a really good mindset about that's how I've got to get better, I've got to go through this, and then I've got to be able to learn from it. So I give him credit for taking not only the one he missed, but also taking the next one. I think that showed great toughness for him, and I think the belief in our team has in him the fact they threw it to him again, when he was open.
5 left, you guys move it back ahead to Miami with the tiebreaker. Now, how much are you guys focusing or talking about amongst yourselves getting that home court advantage, or maybe even moving up to 8? Yeah,
we're talking about. I would say I'm not showing them the standings, every single day. A lot of it's going to come down to as you get all this jockeying and all this other stuff. You can look at a lot of different stuff. I just want our guys to understand where we're at, and really all any team can do at this point in time is control what they can control. You know what I mean? And who knows what's going to happen around the league with games, scores, those kind of things. You just don't. And we just need to focus on playing good basketball. I really was pleased with the way we played, against Toronto. I thought we were really sloppy today, in particular late in the fourth quarter. I thought we had too many careless turnovers and kind of gave them an opportunity to get back into the game. But we were able to close the game out and make some plays late. But we have to be better. We have to be better.
How do you feel, Josh? What got his 200 double-double game equal to Scottie Pippen? How big is that?
Yeah, Vucevic has been great. He got off to a great start offensively tonight. I think the guys did a really good job finding him. I thought we tried to get it to him maybe a little bit too much, and some of the turnovers we had were trying to feed him. But, I credit the guys of wanting to find him because he really had it going offensively. But Vucevic has always been a guy throughout his career that gets double-doubles. So I'm not surprised by it, but certainly offensively he got off to a really good start in the first half.
Wanted to quickly follow up on Vucevic. Late in the season, he's a guy who plays a lot of games, and it seemed pretty impressive that he continues that energy. Outworked a rookie really, around the basket.
Yep.
Took advantage, just like you said, coming out early and kind of. Well, you've seen him that he's no offense, not his age, but older player. You have to sustain and continue to grow even as the season's going on.
He's been great to work with. I love being around him every day. He's incredibly professional. He's one of the first guys in there every day. He gets his work done. He takes care of his body. He's really a true professional, and he's very, very smart. He's very bright. He's got a really good high IQ, and I even think him talking, in timeouts. Even when we kind of lost our way a little bit in the fourth, calming them down and talking to them about having good possessions on both ends of the floor. But you always feel like, from a coaching perspective, you're going to get a guy that comes ready to play, every night. And I feel like he really does do that. And I think a lot of it's got to do with the time and commitment that he puts into it, on the court and away from the court.
How'd you feel like Giddey played tonight? He didn't shoot well, but had the triple-double. How do you kind of assess how he played?
Yeah, I personally, I did not like his first half. I give him a lot of credit because he bounced back and played a really good second half. And I think he, again, he's got to, and it's not just Josh, it's really our team, but, we've got to be better with the ball, and certainly when you have guys that got the ball in their hands quite a bit, they've got to be better. There's always going to be those guys are always going to have a few more turnovers than most of the other guys because the ball's in their hands a lot, but we've got to be better there. But I thought he played I give him a lot of credit. I think he was a little bit frustrated with the way he was playing in that first half. He was 0 for 5. I think he maybe had 1 or 2 turnovers. I thought he missed a lot of opportunities to spray the ball out and find guys. But the one thing about Josh, I feel like he's a really, really competitive. And I give, there's so many games, guys are not going to always play great every single night. And I think a lot of times, guys can get frustrated or down. He fights harder, and I really respected the way he came out in that second half because a lot of times it's not about, how you respond when you're playing well. It's how do you respond when you're not playing well. And I give him credit that, to your point, he didn't really have a great stat line in the first half, but he got himself really involved and engaged in the game. He found people, he got rebounds, he got to the free throw line, he did a lot of really, really good things, even though he didn't maybe shoot the ball particularly well. And I think that's hard to do, because a lot of times, sometimes when guys start off and it's not going well, it kind of can just be like a downward spiral the whole time. They just don't play well the whole game. So, I probably, give him a lot of credit because he's the one that was able to kind of course correct and get back to playing to how he's played, since really the All-Star break.
Thank you, Billy. Then you stepped up and hit that big three off of his assist. Where does that mindset come from to be able to kind of move past in-game failure and then succeed?
I work on my game, so I'm confident in every shot I take. But it's just, I have confidence, and I felt like it was a good shot, and I let it go.
This was your first NBA double-double. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Can you elaborate?
I should have had my first one a long time ago, but I'm starting to take rebounding way more seriously, and I can be really good at it. It finally came. So
timing is everything then.
yeah.
You guys moved back into ninth with the win tonight. I mean, how important is it to you guys to either keep that home court advantage at 9-10 or maybe even move up to 8?
I mean, it'd be nice for us. Definitely an advantage, and we're just gonna take it step by step, game by game, and see what we can do.
Do you watch the standings as it's going?
Nah, not really. I know where we're at, but I'm not calculating anything.
What did you see in the fourth quarter? You guys are up, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, and then they one basket away. What did you see in that stretch? And then, when you were able to get some separation?
I think our pace started to frustrate them, and they got tired. We ran them pretty hard, so they definitely got tired at the end there, and we just finished the game off like that.
How about, that notion, they're coming off the end of a long road trip, they played last night. Was that, talked about coming in that, this is a team that we can push at the end at some point, maybe the shots get short, that kind of thing?
That's what every team would think like that, it's a mentality, so we think it doesn't matter, road trip, not back-to-back, or, we're running everything.
What do you think when you see Josh get 19 rebounds from the guard position?
It's crazy. Underrated skill he has, I think. So he's a phenomenal rebounder.
What's it do for the team when you get that production from him? And what's kind of do stylistically?
He pushes the ball once he grabs a rebound, so we're all out. He's going to find us in transition. So I think that's a big advantage that we have.
With only a few games left, where do you think you're at as far as what you were able to do your rookie season?
Everything can be better always, but I view, everything as a lesson, and I think I got way better since the start of the season, so I view my progression like that. But, overall, I think it's been a great ride this whole season, so I learned a lot, had some tough battles, challenges, but, that's how you advance as a basketball player in the evening.
How would you rate Vuč's 200 double-double equaling Pippen's record in the NBA?
200?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. He's a great player, so I'm not going to take anything away from him, but he's a big part of this team, and we're happy to.
Will you play in Euros? We're in the same group with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, y'all going to lose.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
We all play well, the team wins, so.
Billy was talking about how he liked how you responded. You were a little frustrated, it looked like, in the first half, and you came back and made more plays in the second half. Just kind of how would you assess how you responded personally and helped the team out down the stretch?
That's probably pretty accurate. First half, I think not just me, but us as a team was probably reacting to missed shots, and that impacted the other side of the ball. But second half, I tried to just play the game as it was, and shots going full, control what we can, and I thought we tried to do that better in the second half, and then through that third quarter we broke the game open. So it was a team response out of the break, and that's what we needed, and the response was good.
Did you talk about that during the halftime?
Yeah, that's exactly what we spoke about, and not just me, but we all responded, and that's how we broke the game open in the third.
What do you think of how you guys responded in the fourth quarter? You had the lead, I think, 15. They took that 3 off the board. They cut it really close. Modest made the big 3 after that. Just how did you think you guys responded?
Yeah, we never got rattled. They got it back to 5 points, and I think we stayed composed. And credit to them, they're a good team. They're not going to just go away easy. So I thought as a unit we came back together. When they made that run and Modest hit a big 3, got us back up 5 or 8, whatever it was. And defensively, we got stops. We rebounded finally towards the end of the game, and that was a big key to closing it out. But credit to Portland, they're a good team. They fought to the end and made us win that one.
Do you think about when you win a game like this, what your seeding is, that the fact that you go up to number 9?
Mm-hmm. I mean, we understand, where we're at the season and where the standings are and how important each game is with, especially us, Miami, Atlanta, and Orlando to an extent. So, we know where we are. We try not to pay too much attention because you take it one game at a time, and there's 5 left, and we'll see where we are after 82. But to say we're not aware of it, I'd be lying. We do keep an eye on it, but we try not to let it impact the way we go about our business.
What is your mentality with offensive rebounding? You had 5 today, but that's been something you've been, it seems like, way more aggressive with since the second half of the year.
Yeah, just trying to get us extra possessions, I think. Probably had too many turnovers, trying to make up for it offensively, getting boards and tipping out to other guys on the perimeter. So it's just a way, and I've always loved rebounding. I've always had a good instinct for where the ball's going to bounce. And with clinging in there, it's hard to grab it. So I think tipping it was my best bet tonight, and I tried to do that and help Vuce out down there because he's a big boy and he got a lot of them. So it wasn't just me, but it was a collective effort on the rebound, and that's what I had to be tonight.
That's unusual though for guard.
With Vuce, he got his 200 double-double tonight for Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, you see it. He's a big part to what we're doing here, and when he's playing like that, like he did tonight, we're a tough team to beat. He gives us so much offense inside and out, and when he's playing confidently and freely, he's a tough cover. For a big man in the league, and McLean's a rookie. He's got his hands full with a guy like Vuce. That puts a big hole in their defense, and he draws a lot of attention when he gets it in the paint. So he's an unselfish guy, willing passer, and makes everyone around him better.
Is getting those 19 rebounds a number you're proud of as a player, just given how important it is and to the team?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's 5 rebounds, 19, 30, whatever I can do to help us win a game. So, obviously, there was a lot of misses tonight and called for more rebounding. So, tried to play my part on that end, but, Vuce did. Modest had a career high rebounds as well, so team effort.
But rebounding's not generally what a guard does. Why do you take that into your repertoire?
I mean, I'm probably bigger than the average guard, so it gives me an advantage there. And it's always been a way to start the fast break when I can rebound. The way we want to play, where I can kick it ahead to guys like Poe, Kep, guys that are running out in the lanes, or I can take it myself. So, rebounding has always been something I've loved to do. As I said, I've had a good instinct since a young age from where the ball's going to bounce off the ring, and it's an easy way to generate fast breaks out of it. So I've always loved doing it.
Do you consider yourself a guard? Like, you're listed as a guard, but like some people say you're a point forward. You know what I mean? Like, what do you consider yourself as?
I mean, I would say a point guard, but I've been that my whole life. But with this team, I'm able to guard. I need multiple positions and play multiple positions. So I think versatility is an important thing in today's day and age. And with the lineups that we put out there, sometimes we roll out 4 guards, being able to guard a 4-man, being able to guard a 2 or 1. So whatever the game calls for, it can be different any night. But I mean, I'd say I'm a point guard, but point forward, I don't disagree with that.
What were you doing and what worked for you to start the game? And you got the team off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, it was something we talked about, that he's going to be in a deep drop, that we can try to attack the pocket and look for it, and my teammates did a very good job early on, finding me in the pocket. And, it's one of my favorite shot, that little floater in the pocket, so I got going early and a lot of easy ones, and it's much easier to play that way. But it was definitely something we talked about, and I thought we did a good job executing it.
How would you sort of assess, the season's obviously, soon to go, but, there's been a lot of change around you, and you seem like you've been getting better as the season's gone on. No offense, you're a veteran player, been around a while, but yet, what is in your game that you're able to keep raising as the season goes on, and especially a guy like yourself who plays a lot of games?
Well, I think a lot of it is experience. Been around a long time, I've been in a lot of different situations, played out on different coaches, played with different players, and you just learn to adapt and adjust on the go, and you kind of have to. It's the only way to be around for a long time, and I think also the way my game is pretty versatile. I can play in different systems, play with different players, play in different ways, and so that's pretty much it. And I just always try to do my best. Some games is better, some games is it's not as good, but also have very good teammates that try to find me in my positions. And either way we play now also fits me very well. I think my skill set can be used in many ways, whether it's in the pocket, whether it's my passes, whether it's when I catch the ball in the elbows and I play off-ball action. So different ways that I can utilize, and I think it fits me well.
Do you also feel the motivation?
You play with a guy like Kobe, life is so much easier.
Also, he said to the guy like, no. You also feel the motivation, late in the season. You got scheduled something to play for. You're playing for positioning. You're playing for home court. All those kind of things. Is that how much a motivating force is that?
That's the best part. That's what you want to play for. Get into the postseason. Obviously, we'll have to do it through the play-in. We have these 5 games left. Try to get a better position. Hopefully at least stay ninth and have their first game at home. And there's a possibility maybe we'll move up and have to maybe play one game to get in there if you're able to win. So that's what we want to play for. These games, very meaningful. I think they're also great for the young guys to play for something, to learn to be in these situations, and hopefully we'll get through it and get to the postseason. I think that'll be a huge thing for this young team.
When you came in, it's you, Zach, and DeMar, and you kind of had some going. What do you see now with Kobe and Josh playing, and that, you guys are, especially in the fourth quarter when you guys got close and you had an effect and you pulled away. What is that group doing together?
Yeah, they do a very good job. I thought, since we traded Zach to kind of step up and take on a bigger role. They've been playing great, especially since the deadline, since after the break. Especially that little stretch when I was out as well. They had some great games. Obviously, Kobe was Player of the Month. Josh, fills up the stat sheet every night in different ways and helps our team in so many ways with his passing, the way he brings up the ball, really fast, gets it going quick, and gets a lot of easy ones in transition. Like tonight, I got a lot of easy ones off him in the last game as well. So I thought he did a really good job stepping into that bigger role, and it's not always easy to do it on the go in the middle of the season. Also for Kobe, being going from maybe number 2, 3 guy when Zach was here, especially last year with DeMar and everything, to being number 1 option, having to adapt to different defenses, different coverages. I thought as the season goes on, he's really matured a lot in that area and has been able to read the game much better, take his time, not force things, and you'll see a huge growth from him in that aspect.
Kobe had 31 tonight. I mean, does it just kind of feel routine? And I don't want to say that means it's easy, but we're not talking to him post game, which doesn't mean he wasn't involved in big plays or anything, but it just feels a little bit more consistent, routine, and you guys maybe not take it for granted, but expect that type of production now.
Well, yeah, I think we definitely in a way expect him to have big games now and to kind of take that, take over that role of being kind of the leading scorer. But like I said in my previous answer, I think he really just took a step of doing it in a more efficient way and kind of in a lot of ways letting the game come to him. And like tonight, it didn't happen maybe right away, but as the game goes on, he made big plays, especially in the fourth when we were able to build that lead up a little bit. He made some big plays, and he's taken over at the end of games as well. So yeah, obviously he's had an amazing month, but we always knew he was capable of it. I think he just never was in that position to be the number 1 option, and now that he is, I think he's done a really good job, kind of taking his time to do it properly.
What do you think of Clingan? I don't think we played before.
No, he didn't play for
What do you think of him?
I didn't know he was such a big body.
Yeah, he's huge.
Definitely a big body. Tough to on the glass. Obviously, still a young player trying to figure it out, but talented player. I watched him in college. He was very good at UConn. Played really well for them. I think he has a bright future. Just obviously, the game is very fast, and he played in college, so it'll take him some time. But yeah, huge body. I think. I made some of the his hardest score with a lot of length, and obviously in the glass. And once he gets more comfortable, I think he's going to be able to play.